This story starts in Trinidad in 1871. A man named Jesse Clements married a woman named Clementine. Both of their mothers escaped a slave rebellion in Alabama back in 1853. Jesse and Clementine both loved each other very much. There was only one problem. Jesse's mom came from a wealthy white slave-owning family and was the daughter of a slave owner named Master Robert. And Clementine's dad was Master Robert's Jesse's mom's father, and her mother was an Indian slave from an Indian slave-owning tribe in Alabama. Even though they were related, they didn't care and still got married. In 1871, the couple would have 2 kids together. Jesse and Clementine's son and daughter would be named Robert Clements and Lizzie Clements. Robert Clements would marry a woman from a wealthy Italian family named Francesca. In 1893, the couple would have a son named Robert Clements II. Robert Clements II, great-uncle James Clements, would marry a former African slave and would have a son named James Clement Jr. James Clements Jr. would marry ex-African slave women and would have a son named James Clements III. James Clements III would marry Lizzie Clements, Robert Clements' second aunt. They would have a daughter named Juana. In 1923, Robert Clements II would marry Juana, his first cousin, and would have a son named Robert Clements III. The family would suffer hardship and financial problems. The family was also inbred and crazy. The wife Juana would have to become a prostitute to make ends meet. Juana would end up pregnant by a customer. Robert Clements II was pissed. Juana would give birth to a boy named Sal in 1925. Years later, the family would live in a small shack in Trinidad, poor and broke. One night, the Italian mobster drove up offering Juana a better job. Juana agreed. Juana worked as a maid at the mobster's mansion. The mobster took a liking to Juana. Juana would take $5,000 a day to her family. Juana would make more money than her husband Robert Clements II. One day, the mobster would buy her a $30,000 ring. Juana was speechless. The mobster took Juana to bed and smashed her. The mobster even had dinner with Juana. Juana came to the family house pregnant. Robert Clements II would be furious. Robert Clements II would go to the mobster's mansion armed with a knife. Robert Clements II tried stabbing the mobster. The mobster would shoot Robert Clements II in the head, killing him on the spot. The mobster would explain to Juana how her husband died. Juana was in tears. The mobster would comfort Juana. In 1936, Juana would give birth to the mobster's son named Tony. One day, the mobster was interested in a new maid he hired. Juana was mad. Robert Clements III wanted revenge on the mobster for killing his father, John Clements II. The mobster ended up firing Juana. Juana was mad and jealous. Juana grabbed a knife. Juana tried to stab the mobster. The mobster shot Juana in the throat and killed her. The mobster dropped Juana's dead body at the family house. Juana's son, Robert Clements III, was enraged and vowed to kill the mobster. Robert, Sal, and Tony had to live on their grandfather's, James Clements III ranch. In 1940, Robert Clements III would start robbing stores in Trinidad. He would start carjack and sell the car for $5,000. One day, Robert Clements III caught the mobster slipping at a street corner with a briefcase with $50,000. Robert walked up and shot the mobster in the back of the head. Robert took the briefcase and ran. Robert was a wanted man by the Italian mafia in Trinidad after killing the mobster. Robert flew his whole family and his 2 brothers and 4 grandparents to Oakland, California. The mafia had burnt down the family ranch that the Clements family owned since 1853. Luckily, the entire family landed in Oakland. In East Oakland, Robert would steal cars and sell them for $5,000. In 1944, Robert Clements would become rich and wealthy. Robert Clements III would open a car dealership and sell cars. His brother Sal would trick and fix cars. Robert Clements III would hire street thugs to carjack for him. In 1947, Robert Clements and Sal would start illegal street racing in East Oakland. The Clements brothers would make big money betting on illegal street racing. In 1949, Robert Clements III would go to a house party. He would meet a woman named Stina. Robert asked her to dance. Stina said she couldn't. Her husband Macho was in the corner drunk. Robert assisted to dance. Robert and Xtina danced despite Xtina's husband in the corner drunk. Xtina's husband Macho wanted to fight Robert in an old-fashioned brawl. Robert agreed. Robert tricked and shot Xtina's husband in the face, killing him. The entire crowd ran in horror. Exstina was strangely turned on by Robert shooting her husband. Robert and Exstina would make love upstairs. Robert would sneak out the window to avoid the police. Exstina would cover for Robert and lie to the police about her husband's death. Macho's boys wanted revenge. A week later at a illegal street race, Robert would be caught by his ops. Robert Clements III would die on the ground. Exstina was pregnant and was saddened by Robert's death. Months later in 1949, Exstina gave birth to a boy and named him Robert Clements IV. In 1955, Sal would be stealing cars. One day, Sal would steal a hot rod. The only problem is that Sal stole a hot rod that belonged to a policeman's son. Sal was in a juke joint macking on a lady named Lucinda. Sal and his little brother Tony were playing pool. Sal drove Lucinda and Tony to his house. At Sal's house, Sal was smashing Lucinda hard in the bedroom. After that, Sal drove his little brother Tony to the grandparents' house. The policeman noticed his son's stolen car. The police pulled over Sal and Tony with his gun out. Sal got out with his hands up. The police shot Sal multiple times anyways. Sal was shot dead. Tony gets out and starts shooing back at the police. The officer died on the spot. Tony ran from the scene. The police could never figure out who killed the officer. In 1955, Lucinda gave birth to Sal's son Monte. In 1957, Tony would become a mechanic and would marry a woman named Louisa. They would have a son named Gilbert. 22 years later in East Oakland, March 1st, 1979, 5 o'clock in the morning, Robert Clements IV would street race and steal cars, making a living. Robert Clements IV had a reputation in East Oakland for never losing a street race. Robert and Monty would both steal cars to street race in. 8 in the morning, Robert and Monty would come over to their cousin Gilbert and Uncle Tony's house for breakfast.
You boys need to stay out these streets and get a real job.
Uncle Tony, street racing makes way more money than any job out there.
Yeah, Uncle Tony, I made $7,000 in a week from street racing.
I don't want to see you boys end up like your fathers.
Don't worry, Uncle Tony. That's why I have my government issue on me at all times.
Later that morning, Tony told his son Gilbert to stay away from the streets.
Son, I want you to stay away from these street thugs. I don't want to see you dead like your uncles.
Don't worry, Dad, I'm on a straight path.
At 9 in the morning, Robert was at his baby mama's house.
You're never home with me, or you're with me, or your son. You're too busy street racing with your friends.
I'm making big money street racing.
I need a new man with a honest career, like a doctor or lawyer, not a bum who's a street racer.
Street racing is my life, bitch. I don't care if you like it or not.
Later that day at 9:55 in the morning at the car meet, Robert and Monty was kicking it with friends. The police strolled by. You jungle people better be on your best behavior in my town. Officer Hancock left speeding by. A young man new to the city heard about Robert and wanted to race him.
Are you Robert?
Yeah, I'm Robert. Who wanna know?
You wanna race?
Sure. You wanna bet 5 grand on it?
I'll put 10K on it.
The two raced. Robert beated the young man. The young man didn't have the 10K. Robert threatened him with a gun and told him to never show his face on Oakland again. Meanwhile, at Gilbert's house.
Dad, I'm going to work.
At 10:25 in the morning, Gilbert was walking to work until he saw a fastball American car drove by. Gilbert was amazed. While at work, Gilbert was talking to his cousin Robert.
Hey, Robert, can I start street racing like you and earn money?
Yeah, sure. But you need to steal a car.
I think I can do this, but I need your guidance.
Okay, I can tell you everything step by step.
At 11 in the afternoon, Gilbert left his job and went with Robert to steal cars.
There's a car right there.
Don't tell my father this.
Use this hanger to break in and do what I taught you.
Gilbert broke into and stole a car. Robert and Gilbert raced down the street. By 11:59, Gilbert took the car to the motor shop to customize the vehicle.
You're gonna get a lot of hoes with this ride, Gilbert.
Whilst Gilbert was hanging out in the shop, a beautiful lady catches his eyes.
Little lady, I may say, your sure is beautiful.
Thank you. Is that your car being customized?
It sure is.
The two chat and flirt. Then her boyfriend Ralph showed up angry at his girlfriend for talking to Gilbert.
Why are you talking to this bum for sweetie?
Gilbert was heated.
Did your own lady lame as nigger?
By 12:54, Robert and Gilbert went out for lunch. They went to a local taco stand.
Hey Gilbert, who was that lady you was talking to?
You tar people better stay out of trouble.
Holy shit.
At 1:15, Gilbert's car was ready.
My car looks great.
Test drive it.
Gilbert drove down Brancroft Avenue. Gilbert drove to illegal street race and runs into the beautiful lady again.
Hey, you're that beautiful lady.
You're that guy from this morning.
I didn't get your name.
Rubia.
I'm Gilbert. Your boyfriend is a dick.
I know he's abusive too.
What are you doing talking to this bum again?
How about we race for her? Whoever wins takes her home.
Sure, but my car is faster.
Ralph and Gilbert raced. Officer Hancock noticed the race. Officer Hancock started chasing after them. Gilbert won and beat Ralph in the race. Robert and Monty cheered. Rubia and Gilbert hugged and kissed. Ralph pulled a pistol and was about to shoot Gilbert, but Robert shot at Ralph before he could get Gilbert. Ralph was shot and killed. The young man that lost to Robert tried to shot Robert in the back, but Robert was quick and shot him in the head, killing him instantly. Officers Hancock came and tried to shoot at Robert, but ends up shooting Monty. Gilbert grabbed Ralph's gun and shot Officer Hancock multiple times. Officer Hancock died bleeding to death. Robert and Gilbert were crying over their cousin Monty's death. Robert told Gilbert and Rubia to get out and leave before the police show up. While Gilbert and Rubia fled, Robert was getting arrested for the murder of 2 people. At Gilbert's house, Gilbert told his dad about everything that happened. Gilbert's dad gave Gilbert 2 tickets to Trinidad to escape the police. Gilbert and his girlfriend left to Trinidad. Days later, Gilbert and his girlfriend landed in Trinidad. In 1980, Gilbert and Rubia would have a son named Gilbert Jr. Rubia would break up with Gilbert and leave Trinidad with their son flying back to East Oakland. Robert Clements IV would fight in court to prove he killed 2 people in self-defense. The judge would eventually find him guilty and send him to over 20 years in prison. Tony and Louisa helped watch after their grandson and Robert and Monty's sons.